Face the Strange. Read very sensually. Chapter 1. Dally was riding the Hogwarts Express to Hogwarts with her best friend Edward Cullen. She had just found out she was a witch and a vampire with Edward, and now they were going to school to train to be better. "Edward, do you miss Bella?" I asked. "Grr, I don't want to talk about Bella," Edward said. "Oh, are you guys fighting?" I asked. "She's just being a cunt," he yelled. "She thinks I like you." I mean... "Why would she say that?" Dally asked. Knock knock. Suddenly, there was a sound at the door of the trolley. "I'm going around with candy. Would you like to buy some?" came the voice from the door. "Yes, come in," yelled Edward. He wanted a distraction. The door slid open, and in came a boy with big spiky black hair and black clothes, and he had his arm wrapped up. "My name is Hi-He," he said. "I'm selling these candies to pay for my trip to Hogwarts." He showed them the tray, and there were birdie bots and candy frogs with cards on them. Edward noticed that Dally was staring at Hi-He, and he growled, "We aren't interested. Go away." "Oh, okay," Hi-He said. "Wait. I would like to buy some birdie bots," said Dally enthusiastically and smiling. She reached for some and touched hands with Hi-He. Edward gurred. "Oh, well, that will be... Okay, well, it is free for you," Hi-He said. He was flustered because he touched hands with Dally. He thought she was very cute. "Thank you," said Dally. Hi-He left, and Dally began to eat the beans. "So do you like that guy?" Edward asked. "Of course. He gave me free food." "He is very nice," Dally said, happy. Suddenly, they arrived at Hogwarts, and Un came from the train. They were greeted by a big wizard with a long white bear and a pointy hat, and he said, "Come, students, follow me to the Great Hall, and we will eat and get you sorted." Dally and Edward got into a boat and went into the Great Hall with Dumbledore. They sat down, coincidentally, right next to their friend from the ship, Hi-He. Dally was also sitting next to a black and red hedgehog. "My name is Shadow," said the hedgehog. Edward began to grr again. "Why are you all talking to Dally?" he said. "Calm down," said Dally. "He is my best friend. He gets a little territorial sometimes." "Oh, okay," said Shadow. "Aight," said Dumbledore. "I will now sort you into the hat." One by one, each of the students, and hedge mice, because there were some Sonic characters, came up to the sorting hat. It told poems for the houses. There's Gryffindor, Hufflepuff, Ravenclaw, and Slytherin. "Edward Cullen," said the hat. "Slytherin." Edward put on a silver and green scarf and sat down at a table at the end. He winked at Dally, as if to say, "Come to my house." "Shadow." "Slytherin." Shadow put on a silver and green scarf and sat down next to Edward. "Gee, I hope she gets Slytherin," thought Shadow. Hi-He. "Slytherin." Hi-He put on a silver and green scarf and sat down next to Shadow and Edward. He could not stop grazing at Dally. Now it was Dally's turn. "Dally," called the hat. She was beckoned, and so went up. The boys did a drum roll with their feet. "Ravenclaw." Dally's face fell off. She could not believe it. The boys looked so disappointed. She sadly put on the black and blue scarf and sat down at a table with a group of strangers. Lucky, she found her friends Charlie, Annie, and Megan at her table. "Hey guys, I didn't know you were witches." "Yes, we are. We just found out this summer," said Megan. "I can't believe we're in the same house." So there was good news after all. They began to head back to their homerooms when Heike stopped Dally in the hall. "Listen, Dally, I want to tell you something," said Heike. "I like you." "I like you too, Heike," she said softly. Then he kissed her and their lips met like fire. "Oh, okay. That's enough," said a voice. It was Professor Umbridge, the Defense Against Dark Arts teacher. "Go to your rooms. I'll see you tomorrow," said Heike, and kissed her again. "I said enough, goddammit," shouted the professor. "Bye," said Dally. They left, and from the darkness 2 eyes watched. It was Edward, and he was mad. Chapter 2. Dally sat in the common room, or Ravenpaw, sketching a picture of Heike and thinking of his kiss. Suddenly, she looks up in the fire in front of her, and a face appeared. The fire turned blue like water, but it was fire, and the eyes wee yellow. "Hello," said the fire. "Mom?" asked Dally. Just then Mystique came out of the fire. She was naked, but she didn't have nipples. "Now that you are a wizard, I can give you my powers," said Mystique. She handed me an orb, and suddenly the room turned colors. "Ah!" screamed Dally. She was in a lot of pain and suffrage. Then Mystique disappeared, leaving Dally with a belt with an X on it. She was now a mutant. Dally could feel a new rush hour of power in her organs. She tried it out and turned into a bat. "Well, I could already do that because I'm a vampire, lol," she thought to herself. So she tried it out again and turned into a demon Chaos KO. A little spiky ball was above her head. "Oh my fucking Christ," she said. "I can turn into whatever I want with Mystique's powers." She pulled out her BlackBerry and texted Heike. "Heike, I am a KO." He came right over. She turned back though, because it'd be creepy if they kissed, and he said it was really cool. He wanted the powers too, so he asked the fire, "Can you give me those powers too?" "No," Mystique showered. "You are not my daughter, and therefore I cannot pass the powers on to you. However, if you get married, you will be my son, so we can do it then." "You know what this means," Heike said. "If we get married, I can have the powers." But suddenly Dally began to think of all the other guys in her life. There was Edward. He had Bella, but he had said something about liking her on the trolley. And there was Shadow, who looked at her like, "I like you." She loved Hayahi, but she liked the others. "I don't think so. I have cold toes," said Dally, and she ran away crying. "No, you cannot leave me here at the altar," shouted Heike in upset. "Ha ha ha," laughed Mystique. "You will never fucking get the powers." And then she disappeared, and so did Heike, cause he's not supposed to be in Ravenclaw's dorm room. LOL, what the fuck was he thinking? Dally wept quietly to herself, when all of a sudden, A blonde walked out of his class and approached her. "What's wrong, Dally?" he asked. "Who are you?" I asked. "Oh, my name is Draco Malfoy," he said. "Are you okay?" Dally looked into Drake's eyes and saw that he cared. He was full of compassion, like a snake. The boy held out a hand and pulled up Dally up. "Do you want me to walk you to your class?" he asked. "I would love that," Dally said, battering her ashes. They began to walk down the hallway together when a blast came out before Hatem. It was Edward. "Dally," he shouted, "what are you doing with all these boys?" Edward, it's really none of your business. Now let us go to the Great Hall," she snipped. "It is dangeroso," he began to raise his voice. Just then, Draco pulled out his wand, and him and the vampy got into a big fight. But Dumbledore came and broke it up. "That's it," he shouted. "You boys will come have talk with me in office." And they left. So Dally had to go to the Great Hall by herself, but then Shadow came and joined her. "What is a pretty girl like you doing all by yourself in the Great Depression all alone?" he asked her. "Well, Hi-He is being an asshole," she said and cried again. Shadow put his paw on her leg and massaged her, caressing. "It's okay," he said. "It's okay." Meanwhile, Hi-He was updates pushing walls angrily. Why did I hurt her? He asked himself, and then thought of a soluble. "I will win her back," he said. Meanwhile, Edward and Draco were upstairs in Dumbledore's house. They were sitting on his bed because he said they were out of cars. "What do you think your punishment should be?" Dumbledore asked, passing out that he was wearing a black t-shirt and ripped Hollister jeans that showed off his muscles. Edward gurred. His sentences were tingling, that something was not wrong. Suddenly, Dumbledore put his hands on both their legs and said, I can think of something." "OMG, you faggot," Draco screamed. He tried to run, but he could not. Chapter 3. Out of what? 6 chapters? Fuck, Chapter 3. Shadow and Dally were talking in the Great Hall when suddenly, all of a sudden, a cheetah ran, and at warp speed, barreling through chairs and people in a frantic rush of hurry. "Shadow, Dally," shouted the cheetah. Suddenly it turned back into Charla. She's an anemogiraffe. It can turn into cheetah. Something is going on upstairs. Shadow put them all on his back because he's the fastest, even faster than the leopard, and they ran upstairs and busted down Dumble's door. Dumble's door? Just in time to see him unzipping his jeans. "No, Edward," Dally shouted. She loved Edward and would never see him get hurt. She ran at Dumbledore and headbutted him. He flew back into the wall and fell into his phoenix, and they both exploded into thin air. "Fuck, we lost them," exclaimed Draco. "We have to get that bastard fired from Hogwarts." "Oh, I don't want to do this." The three of them made it downstairs to Professor McGonagall's orifice and demanded an interview. She opened the door to her chamber and said, "Come in, dearest Stuns. What can I ask you in?" "What can I ask you in?" "We need to get a certain pedophile fired from this place," said Harry. "He tried to rape some students, including me." "Oh no, don't worry. I thought I will have it all taken care of," she said, and bamfed them out. A week later, a blog was posted, abooted in the bathrooms, that said, "A teacher has been fired to improper acting against the students." This teacher is Professor Umbridge. What? They all mounted in unicorns. They fired the wrong teacher? Wait, keep reading, said Shadow. It said more. There is a new teacher to be hired in place of this one, and his name is Jack Skeleton. Yay, I said. Professor Skeleton will know what to do. Let's go to his class and tell him about that faggot Dumbledore. They walled over and came into his office. He was very skinny and had a skull for a head, and no eyes, but teeth on them. What? Hello, students. What can I help you with? He asserted. Dumbledore is gay, blurted Edward. Well, students, there's nothing wrong with being gay, he said. I am bisexual myself. No, but he tried to finger us, said Draco. He turned a little blue because he was embarrassed. Draco is straight and it's Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve. Oh fuck, said Jack. They exclaimed to tell the whole story and he said, Don't worry, I will take acres of this. Now just go to your rooms and sleep for tonight. Until then, Incest Dumbledore is not here. There are no rules. So they left and went into their rooms, except for Dally and Hi-He, who hung outside of their dorm room started. Did you hear what Professor Skeleton said? Hi-He asked. I know that you were mad at me, but there are no rules, and maybe I can make it up to you. How would you do that? Said Dally. Just then he pushed against her Ravenclaw satellite because to kiss gastrically. She put tongue in his mouth and felt his teeth. He cut his tongue on her fangs and the blood dripped down to his chin. He was turned on by it. And suddenly, Dally felt something against her. Hi-He, is that your wand? She asked. No. That is my penis, Dally, he said. OMG, you're so huge. You're like 6 inches, she shouted, gasping for breath. No, I'm 6 inches flaccid. Right now I have a boner, so I am 10 inches, he said. Della was at a loss for words. She was a virgin and did not know about dicks, and it was her first time having a penis. Let's go to your room, he said. I want to have sex with you. So he said the password, and they went to Ravenclaw and went to Dally's bedroom. A couple of Ravenclawers were like, Dally, what is he doing here? But she turned Hi-He into a broom with the powers as a mutant, so they didn't notice anymore. Then she unturned him back into a Hi-He. When they got on her bed, they started kissing and taking their clothes off. Do you have a birth control? Dally, as he put it in. No, I didn't think to bring some, he said, frowning, but kept doing it. Hi-He, please, I don't want to have a baby. You can get pregnant even from your first time, she said, kissing him and moaning as he went faster and faster. It will be okay. You can just use your power to turn my cum into water, and then it won't be babies, he said as he started to titty fuck her. Her boobs were huge, and so they could wrap around his wiener like bumblebees. That sounds like a good idea, she said as she splurted on his neck, then flipped her over and started rubbing himself on her back. I can also use my powers to turn stuff into kinky sex toys. So they continued. But just from the first chapter 1, Edward was watching from darkness. He had used his vampire powers to turn into a bat, and they didn't notice him fly in. He was angry. He was tumors. He was so mad at both of them that he used his wizard powers to turn the water back into cum. He would have his... Oh, no more, I'm done. Fuck this.